Hello, welcome to TED Talk class. Today we will speak about short TED Talk. The name is Haters Gonna Hate, and it's a kind of entertainment more than something profound, I think. So the speaker is a comic, right? It's what's the word for that?
Social justice comedian, right?
Comedian, yeah, it's a comedian. He, what I forgot another word for that. It's stand-upper, right? Can you say
Yes.
so? It's a stand-upper who makes jokes on the from the scene, right? Stand-up comedian.
We call him stand-up comedian, yeah.
Okay, so not stand-upper, not a stand-upper, no.
Not stand-upper, yeah.
Okay.
We all stand up.
So she made a few jokes and she speaking about classification, like scientific classification of haters, and she like I don't know is it an English word or not. It's a taxonomy. It's an English
Yes.
word.
Taxonomy.
Taxonomy, yes. Taxonomy is it's kind of what is that? It's kind of a ledger, right, with all sorts of
Classification, Teacher Lee?
Taxonomy is, I guess, kind of a structure or a hierarchy or a...
yeah. So she tried to provide us taxonomy of the haters on the internet and the real life, and shared a few funny stories from her life. She, as I got it, she as a comedian, she likes to troll people, if you can say so. So to make them feel some emotions, angry or behave stupid or something like this. So. Do you remember something from these jokes, from these lines, from this trolling? Can you share something?
One of the things that I would like to emphasize, she's a Muslim.
She's a
And
Muslim, yeah.
She emphasized this fact, and there are lots of things that she said, how she was treated. And we will talk about it later. But I think I mustn't forget 7% of haters. She emphasized on this fact as well. And she said they are the minority, but I think there are lots of jokes, but we will talk about it one by one, I guess.
Okay, Vasant, please start from your favorite part or something.
Yes, at the very beginning, she mentioned that I am an Iranian American Muslim girl, like the rest of you. So she said that sarcastically. She mentioned that I'm also a woman, but you are seeing me from a different perspective. So that I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
And the second thing I would like to say, the poster. I love it. You know me. I'm not a religious person, but the poster's name really attracted me a lot. The Muslims are coming, and yes, MTA banned the poster. I don't know why, but I can understand why. Because in any country, even in Italy, if you have a kind of poster like that, people may think differently. But I love the joke.
Okay, as I mentioned before, my favorite joke is about Florida. It's about some classifications that in American people can be divided in three categories, right? The most broad category, yes, it's a wonderful people. The only 7% of the entire population is haters, and 3% is a Florida citizens. they don't belong to a group of wonderful people, as they don't belong to a group of haters.
I don't know why.
Nobody knows because she doesn't explain
Oh,
that.
she doesn't explain it?
No, she just provided this statistic like a fact, But later on in her TED talk, she provided other statistics, and she said it's made up statistics. I like to made up statistics, something like joke for a joke. So I think it's the same way, but Why Florida, teacher Lee? What's special about Florida?
I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, we're old retired people, a lot of retired people here, but beyond that, I don't know why we would be different as far as haters and non-haters. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, but from your experience, what do you think about people when they grow, right? When they became older, do they like more quiet, not so, not
Right.
not like what feel so much hate or something?
Right. We say mellow.
Mellow.
They get softer, I guess.
Okay, so it's
More
understandable.
calmer. Yeah.
But why they don't cannot belong to wonderful people? I don't understand that.
Well, we have Miami. Miami is probably, I would guess, 50% Cuban, and we hate Cubans. But just because of Miami, everywhere else in Florida is fine, but Miami is a particularly bad. So maybe she's looking at that aspect where we hate a little area, but not the whole country. I don't know.
But you know, I think it's just another example of trolling. You know, it's nothing behind that. She's just, you know, she's just trying to make these Florida people, you know, wonder why what's wrong.
It could be. I was puzzled by it. Yeah, we're no different than the rest of the country, to my knowledge.
Okay, Jart, what is your favorite part of Samsung?
When she said she did a tour with other friends that were stand-up comedians, but also Muslim, and she went to the southern states of Alabama, Georgia, and she said they like us very much, and everybody laughed. Everybody likes Muslims over there. Musis, the Musis. She said the Musis.
Mueslis, it's kind of food, right? So they like mueslis or something like this. No,
It's a name, I think.
You gotta spell it.
Musis, something like Musis instead of Muslims. Musis.
Yeah. It was like a joke about, you know, pronunciation.
I think that's a slang for Muslims, muzzies.
Yes.
We like muzzies. I guess they mean we're affectionate toward Muslims. I don't know. We call them muzzies. I don't know, like muggles, muzzies. I don't know.
Okay. So anything else, or we can? I don't know. I don't know what can else we summarize in this TED Talk. This TED Talk looks like a series of jokes, not really related to each other, right?
Well, I'm looking at the transcript. She says basically her taxonomy of haters is a hierarchy, and she says first there's trolls. These are ordinary digital haters. They only hate on the internet. They just like to make trouble anonymously, is what it sounds like. They've quit their jobs and they just post YouTube videos all day long. And there's drive-by haters. So when they're at a stoplight, they yell from the car, "Go away, go back to your country."
Right.
And then she says the next category is mission-oriented bigot whose group affiliation gives them cover for hating hater. So that would be like the white supremacists. They're part of a group that makes their hating okay because they're a group that hates. So individually, they're just doing what the whole group is doing. And then she said the one that she likes the most is the swing hater. They just can't decide. Sometimes they hate A, sometimes they hate B. They just kind of hate everybody at different times.
Yeah. They just like easy to change their mind. Like today on TV they say that, I don't know, China's evil. We hate China. Tomorrow we hate, I don't know, Europe and vice versa. Yeah.
So that's kind of what she says about the different kinds of haters: the group hater, the swing hater, and the first kind was the digital haters and the drive-by haters. They do it when it's safe for them.
Right. It's
when they're remote and can't be beat up or hit in the face. So remote haters, group haters, and swing haters.
Leila, please. Leila?
Oh, I was just listening to Teacher Lee, and I was going to ask, Teacher Lee, can we use swing politicians?
I've never heard the term, but usually we call them independents, but sometimes they might be called swing.
Yeah.
Swing is okay.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we have a few of those. We have some Republicans that sometimes will vote for a Democratic idea, and we have some Democrats that sometimes will vote for a Republican idea. We call them swing because they're not just locked into the party line. They think independently. They say, well, you know, Democrats, you're wrong on this one. The Republicans are right. So I'm going to vote with the Republicans on this issue. So they kind of swing from one side to the other. So we call them swing politicians or whatever. Yeah.
But for me, it sounds like a good thing. I don't hear bad connotations that, you know, if you are against a good idea just because you belong to some party, it's something worse, in my opinion. If you
welcome to America.
So I'd like more a candidate, right, from who represents me, who is go to any good ideas, nevertheless from who those ideas. It looks like a good thing.
I think being a car driver hater, this one that said things to another people, is dangerous in America because many people have weapons. Can show you a weapon and what? And then what?
Well, we have road rage where they pull their car in front of your car and stop you. Then they get out and beat you up. So it can be dangerous in a car.
Well, I don't know, but maybe a few decades ago we had a lot of road rage. I don't know why, and I don't know why it's almost instinct, because I don't see, you know, any actions because of that. No one is fighting with this rage. It's just instinct, like automatically, without any efforts, and I don't understand why people, I don't know, growing up become more mellow or something. How it's in your place, Gerard? People are...
No, road raging is something common. And we don't have weapons in our cars. Only hunters sometimes.
But I know that, for instance, in my place in Russia, it's very common if you stop at traffic light and it became green and you still stopping, people will, you know... Horn, yeah, to make you know about that. But I saw many times that in Spain, you know, you have to block the whole street just with no reason, just to say hello and speak to some lady, and people react very mild to that. They don't care. It seems.
That happens in the south because they don't have too much work. You know. In Barcelona, that wouldn't be like this.
Yeah, because I saw many times when, you know, this gas worker, I don't know what's the name for that, the man who deliver gas, he can block the street for long time, and people just sit in their cars and looks like they don't worry. Okay, we can wait. We have the whole life. I can see the track of rage in Spain. What about Turkey?
Oh, you have to come and live the moment, my dear. It is incredible. Everybody gets out of their cars and the struggle or the fight starts. Nobody is patient here.
Okay. So it's a high temperament, or how to say it? Hot temperament.
Quick-tempered people.
Quick, yeah? Quick-tempered?
Yes.
Okay. Sans, what about India? Do you have this road rage incidents?
Road rage means kidding.
When you drive too slow for someone's opinion, he started to pursue you and to deliver his opinion, with weapon or with swearing or something.
Okay, sometimes it's not that much far. Sometimes people argue, they quarrel with each other, but not at the extent of the taking out the weapon or something.
Mm-hmm. This raw things was a thing that surprised me a lot in Vietnam. It was like a different planet because they traffic looks like totally without any laws. You can drive chaos. Yeah, you can drive in any directions. Nobody cares. You can drive this way. You can make a reverse and drive to another way. And nobody cares. Nobody hoard to each other. No, just live and let live.
Relaxed people, right?
Well, looks like they are in hurry or something, but they don't argue. They don't show any, that they have any problem. No rage at all. It was
anger.
Yeah, it was very funny. And I asked local people about that. I asked why you can bear that this guy is move, opposite direction on your road. They said we understand each other. Maybe this guy have his own reasons for that, so we don't care. Impossible to imagine.
Maybe they live in harmony, right?
I think that my opinion, I don't know. My opinion that they have a habit to live with a big population on a small place. So they have to make this, things. They have to understand each other. In other case, it will be a war.
Of course.
Okay, so road rage is done. So what about trolls? Have you been a victim of trolls in the internet, Leila? Are they hunting you?
Let me think while the others are speaking, okay?
Okay. So, from my experience once at my blog, I got some strange, commenter or something. I don't know, was it one man or many of them, but I got to receive some strange comments full of hate every day with many number, and all of them was very stupid. I don't understand why people write that. Yeah. So it was kind of troll attack, but it started without any reasons and it ended without reason. So what it was, I don't know. It was just a few weeks of strange thing.
Okay. Ivan, I haven't met just really something like that, but what I have realized is in my country, hatred is growing because of the conditions, I guess. Because there are lots of groups now, and even me, I mean, I'm such a calm person. I started to feel hatred. This is bad.
Wow.
Yes, Lee, because how they look at us, how they treat us. And I mean, you can't believe it. So you can't do anything, but you feel hatred. I know. And I just want to control myself.
But I think that these haters, they're like contagious thing, when you live in this society or you communicate in such a group, you became the same. You just adapt this, rules or something like this. Because I saw that many times, sometimes for instance, on our IT forums, when we discuss, just technical things, we have a few strange people who started to attack other people. You do it incorrect. You are a stupid guy. Make this and this. And few months later, you see that everyone is speaking in this way. So it's like I don't know why.
A disease.
Yeah, it's like a disease. Yeah, you started to adapt this way.
Yeah,
so this.
Ivan, Lee knows me a lot when this subject is concerned. I don't mind who the person is. Religious issues, race, nationality, I don't mind at all. But when somebody wants to suppress your feelings and restrict your freedom, how do you feel? That's what I'm trying to say. Or else, there's nothing to do. Just you can only feel anger, hatred because you do what you don't want to do.
Yeah. But speaking about this internet trolls, I saw that you post some, I don't know, can I say it's political pictures or something like this, but you post something about politics, yeah? In my experience, it's always attract a lot of haters. Whenever you post about politics, you will have your haters on Facebook or everywhere. They will come and deliver their thoughts to you. So.
And do you also know that this title, Haters Gonna Hate, is a kind of motto among people here? Because whatever you do, they will go on, this feeling.
Yeah, but why? Why haters gonna hate?
I don't know.
It's in their nature.
But it wasn't in my nature, Teacher Lee.
Yeah, but you're not,
lady.
You're not a hater, Layla. Not like this is talking about. Some people are just so negative. They hate everything.
No, it's not me. I can understand.
You're not like that. You're focused to maybe one small area. You don't hate all the Muslims and all the Americans and all the Republicans. You don't hate on a big scale. Your hatred is more focused on a specific irritant.
Maybe anger is the
more
right
anger.
word.
Yeah, more anger.
Right.
Yes, because I know in America, many people hate either Trump or Hillary.
Yeah, I mean, that's hatred, okay? That's not anger. That's just hatred. The Democrats, if Trump says A, they all hate A. Every single Democrat hates A because Trump said it. They just hate Trump. So if Trump says America's great, they're going to go, boo, boo.
Oh,
Really? Trump wants to give people money, boo, boo, because Trump said it. They hate him so bad. They're just haters. They enjoy hate. I don't know why.
But it's a significant problem, in my opinion, because how people can live this way, and it's it looks like I can see that. I don't live in America, but I can see that on the forums, on Facebook. I can see that in our former group, in our current group, because everything now is related to Trump. Whatever you discuss, if Melanie wear some high heel boots, it became important. We have to forbid these shoes. That's all. Why?
Yes, I don't know.
And we had the same in Russia, and maybe we will get to this point again. It's, from my opinion, it's depend on current state of society. If the society in the point when you need to decide something, and there are opposite point of views, it's just a natural thing that divide people. And when you divide it, it's hate become a natural thing for you, something like this. But this Trump example is perfect, I think. So we can read about Trump in any. You can discuss, bird watching, and you will have some arguments about like Melanie watching birds too, and you are continue.
Yeah, anything she does is automatically evil. She said nice things about them. What an evil person, She's just pretending. She's not sincere, Or she loves those people because they're not Americans, Give me a break. She's being polite, There's just haters everywhere in this country. I've never seen it so bad.
No, in my country as well. What I believe? It must be something behind it. Loathing, hatred can spring from a lot of things. But why people hate each other this much? I don't understand it.
Yvonne would say there's something in the water.
But another interesting question. Well, do you think that haters get energy from this hate, or more, or opposite? They lost the energy of hate? Because it happens to me that I lose my temper, that I write something that I should not write, or say something that I should not write. But usually I regret after. Usually it takes a lot of energy. It's it does not make me feel better. This actions of hate. But it seems like some people can get energy from that. They hate and they more active. How it's possible?
Ivan, I read an article about it years ago. I mean, believe me, it was said the same thing. They enjoyed it because I think it's a kind of food for them.
Well, I at some point I can understand that. Sometimes I like to provoke maybe hot discussions or something like this. It's interesting for me. It's interesting for me to to exaggerate my point of view or to do something to make people react strongly. It's interesting, but
there are stories behind. Once my teacher told us a story about a boy who was brought up in such a difficult way, and he had no money, no power, no shoes, nothing, and he felt hatred towards people. So, I mean, this is such a, just small example, maybe, I don't know. But there are lots of things that we can talk about hatred.
Mm-hmm. Gerard?
That's cool. I think that's called flamer. So you want to create a fire. Even you can create a fire from an opinion that is not yours, but that will create controversy.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm lured to say something, opposite, even I don't feel it's so. But it's interesting because people react. Yeah, people react. Yeah, I like discussion, and I think it's kind of cultural thing. I noticed that many times that, for instance, in America, if people know that they have different opinions, they try not to discuss this question. They discuss other questions, but they avoid to discuss this, opposite questions. It's kind of opposite in my culture. We enjoy that. So if you have an opposite opinion, okay, bring your arguments here. Let's start a war.
Yeah, we'll end up in a fight. Gerard, did you want to say something or?
No. It
okay.
was before.
Okay.
So, teacher, you copied some paragraph or something? Should we read it?
The paragraph kind of explained the intent of her lecture. She's let me see where it was. But despite the occasional, that kind of, I thought, summarizes what she's trying to say. That's her message.
Mm-hmm. Well, please, can you read that? Can you read the chat? But despite the occasional danger, this paragraph.
I'll post it again.
Okay, but despite the occasional danger, I still think that social justice comedy is one of our best weapons. I mean, we have tried a lot of approaches to social justice, like war. Okay, I have a company here. Like war and competitive ice dancing, but still a lot of things are still kind of awful. So I think it's time we try and tell a really good poop joke.
I see. So her point, he knows some medicine for that, right?
She's trying to use social justice, which can make people hate you, with comedy to soften the mood so that your hatred and the laughter kind of blend together and you get your message across without the hatred blocking the message. I think that's what she's trying to say. Social justice comedy is a new weapon to attack the haters, to get through the hate with a little comedy so that they understand your message in a less aggressive or offensive context.
Also, she gave a message to the listeners there, She started by saying, I'm a Muslim. So she had this weakness, I guess, because usually, I can say this, all over the world, people, maybe 50, maybe 60%, maybe 70, hate Muslims. This is the truth. So she started by saying this, and while she was speaking, I also watched the listeners. They laughed and they enjoyed, but did they get the message properly? I don't know. Because what I have understood, whoever you are, don't hate me because I am Christian, I am Muslim, I am Buddhist, I am good, I'm Leila. So I just want to tell you something very short. Years ago, I went to Rome and I met my son's friend who hates Muslims. And his name is Stefano. He said that he hadn't met a Muslim woman before. He was surprised to see me because she said, "Oh, you're a modern woman." Anyway, I said nothing. Yes. I said nothing. He lost his mom 2 months ago. So I spent a lot of time with him. I listened to him. I gave advice to him. He cried on my shoulder. He became my best friend. And before I left, I cooked for them. Everybody bought me presents. And Stefano said, "Leila, I didn't buy you anything." I said, "Come on, you don't have to." But he said, "I will give you my mother's necklace." At that moment, nothing was important, you know. I did understand once more either religion or nationality or whatever. Only humanity is important. I cried that day. Still crying now. I am a stupid person, I'm sorry. So here, being a Muslim, if you go to Rome, Ivan, and if you say I'm a Muslim, they don't like it.
But I'm Russian. I'm Russian. It's enough in Europe.
No. I know that. No, don't tease me.
Well, but I can remember 2 different classes that we have. One is about stereotypes, and another one about identity. If you can remember that, and we discussed such questions a bit, So yes, in general, only personality important. Yeah, every man or woman is very different. Yeah, in many dimensions. But why we love stereotypes? Why we love this short identity, lines like I'm a family guy, my career is so, I am this religious, and so on. Why we do that? Because it's a powerful message. We show who we are by belonging to this group, right? So it's like a short way to present yourself or to make some conclusions about someone else. If I know that this guy is a family guy, he's a Christian, he is, 50 years old, I kind of already have some picture what to expect. If I know that he's a 20 years old, radical Muslim and not married and refugee from something, I have another picture in my head, right? But maybe he's a nice person and the first one is a very bad person, but we already have some impression. So it's just a way to
I can tell you, I'm from Turkey. Turkey is a secular Muslim country, and I know the situation I am in. I accepted it. They don't like Muslims, but the problem is, I don't mind. And I am against these kind of things. Why we are friends, why I sometimes write to Gerard, you, and, Lee, Blanca, because I feel so close to you, because you understand me. Because I believe good people. Ivan, just believe me, before he met me, he hated Muslims because he thought every Muslim, I just can say, ate with his hands.
Yeah, but it's what I try to say. He had some stereotypes, right, in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah? But we all have them, stereotype is our way to overcome the complexity of our world. We cannot be, we don't have this time, we don't have this opportunity to understand every person. We don't have this opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do you agree with me this point?
Well, I met fantastic people who was Muslims. That's why I struggle with these stereotypes. But anyway, if you, I don't know, if you provide a reportage, I don't know, news report, yeah, and you kind of expect, what they will talk about, just because they started from, two young Muslims started to, and what to expect? Started to new art, so we are enslaved of these stereotypes.
No, I agree with you totally, but also I love the social justice comedian because she gave the message.
Nice point. Gerard?
Here there is something I didn't understand. Okay. Didn't. This paragraph, let me see. There is an expression I didn't understand. Okay, it doesn't appear. The expression says, at the end says, sometimes it makes you want to take a dump in your pants. At the end.
Usually that means fear. When you're afraid, you poop in your pants.
Okay.
I think that's what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
When some people are scared. Okay, are scared. Yeah.
In other words, they try to do something funny, but the other people don't find it funny, and they bring out security, and suddenly you go, "Whoa, maybe we went too far." We may end up in prison for trying to be funny. I think that's what she's trying to say.
I didn't understand one thing, Lee, Gerard, and everybody. Why did she mention Ted Nugent? She said racism, violence, and she said just the beginning of the video. Ted Nugent.
Mudgets, maybe, no?
I don't know. TEDNUGENT.
Oh, Ted Nguyen. That's sound like a Vietnamese guy.
How do you pronounce, Lee?
Let me see if I can remember how to spell that. Nguyen.
I checked it. He was a musician.
But it was, it was a joke.
Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't find it.
But speaking about this social justice joke and so on, I kind of like this way. So she's starting my way. What is the pattern of her joke? She's starting from a strong stereotype. I'm a Muslim, and she delivers something that make you break your stereotype. You just think, wow, I will hear about, I don't know, about terract, and then you hear about art gallery or something like this. So it's a common pattern. And I remember that we had this problem too. 15 years or so ago, we have a war inside the Russia with Chechen territory. Yes. It was a Muslim territory. And because of that, it was a very tense relationship because, this population. How we overcome that? I don't know exactly. There are many actions because of that. But now it's solved. It's solved like totally, We don't have any tensions. But as I remember, there are a lot of jokes, about each other culture. A lot. So they started from, I am a Chechen, it's me, and I'm so brutal, so tough, And they provided same pattern, I'm a Chechen, but I am a dancer in ballet, something like this. So, yeah, it's kind of the same pattern, I think.
Okay.
I just looked up Ted Nugent real quick. Seems like he's an activist. He's a musician, but he's also an activist. And he believes in gun ownership, hunting. He's against drug and alcohol abuse. He's a supporter of the Republican Party, which means he's a white supremacist and enjoys white privilege. I don't know, but for some reason, some people don't seem to like him.
Okay.
He's a Trump supporter.
Trump supporter. Guilty. But you know, it's the same. Yeah, if you're starting to speak about the man, for instance, and we say that he's playing golf, you know, with other bankers and so on. So, what kind of image you have in your head? You know, you have a, you know, white supremacy Christian or something like this, right? So I think that is the case of Ted Nugent. I don't know why he's famous.
I've never seen him. I've heard people mention his name, and like Layla's, like, what's special about him? I don't know.
Yeah, big country. We can understand that. Okay, so let's read some questions. Okay, we already answered a question about Florida.
It was a joke.
Yeah, and we have a question. What are the stereotypes against Muslim in your country now? Kind of hard to be politically correct, right?
I have to tell you, I try to treat people based on their actions, but the media and what I've seen happen in the news for 50 years, Muslims, to me, Islam is the most evil religion in the world. It's the way I've been biased by my news exposure. I know that most Muslims are good, but when I hear terrorism, 99% of the time, it's going to be a Muslim guy.
Yeah.
So I naturally kind of fear Muslim people because there's a chance that they may be violent compared to other religions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how America feels. We don't mean to be that way, but that's just our life experience.
Yeah. There is one thing I don't understand. Why they are so merciless? You said most Muslims. For me, 50%.
I don't know.
Okay, Sans, please.
Yes, I think after 9/11 incident, the stereotype has become more and more stronger than before, because I have read that a couple of Indian celebrities were stripped off at the U.S. International Airport immigration office just because they had a Muslim Islamic name. Yeah.
If you're on an airplane, if an Arab on an airplane is talking into his phone and he says Allah Akbar,
Yeah.
he will be taken off the plane, because that's what terrorists always say before they blow up something. So Arabs have to be very careful and sensitive to what Americans fear or worry about.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's sad, but it's true.
Gerard, please.
That reminds me of the situation that feminists explain when they are walking alone at night and they hear somebody walking behind them and they turn their head and see whether if it's a woman, okay, no problem.
If it's a white guy, if it's a black guy, oh my God. Yeah.
The woman, this feminist said, how do you feel? Relief. And then said, all men are to blame because of that. Because of men, you don't feel safe. So are all we to blame because of that? Are all we potential rapists? The same happened with Muslims, you know, it's the same. There are some of them are terrorists, are, you know, zealots, but most of them don't.
Yes,
but all the same, we can avoid that.
Yeah, but analogy is pretty straightforward, you know. It's what just teacher Lee shared, you know. If you say Allah Akbar and if you see, you know, as a woman, black guy behind you at the night, it's kind of the same. Your feelings are natural, you know. You feel that. You don't like invent that. You don't made up that. You feel that. So
it's subconscious.
Yeah, you can do nothing with that.
And in my place, when I see a young Muslim wearing a big beard, I think this guy must be a radical, because that's not normal.
Yeah.
They like their beards.
Yeah. It's a right signal.
Yeah. But the bigger the beard, maybe the more
religious and obsessed.
The more devoted.
Okay. Maybe it's just about shampoo, you know.
What about you? Do women like the Muslim men's beards? Is that something that's attractive to Muslim women?
No, to tell you the truth, too much beard is scary.
Okay.
When I see a man, with too much beard, I feel okay. He doesn't look safe. But it's a kind of, it's a kind of sixth sense. I can tell you. Because
Okay, I understand.
Father,
A little too extreme.
Yeah, because my father used to shave every morning. I was brought up this way, and I don't know, Lee.
But that's interesting, though.
Yeah. But Turkish women like mustache. I know that.
And I know there is something special about mustache in India, right?
Ivan.
It's my impression.
I could make a dirty comment, but I'll resist.
Okay.
We are on live.
Okay, let's change the questions then. Do you have the posters culture in your country? What is the posters culture? Let's start from that.
Posters culture.
Gerard, do you know?
Posters culture, it means you use posters whenever something special, whenever an occasion happens, maybe.
Yeah,
Right?
and I remember Vasan's photo from weddings, with these huge posters with, what's the name for bride and groom, right? Groom, yeah? Vasan, tell us about posters, when you have to use them.
Yes, Indians are more, how do you call it? They are fond of bragging, right? We just brag about ourselves, and we use a lot of wall posters for a political convention or a religious convention or a meeting or whatever it is. We use wall posters and a lot of banners, digital banners. So yes, it is mingled with our culture. It's like a kind of an advertising. So yes, we use a lot.
Yeah, I understand what kind of social poster is. We have this in our country in different way, but sometimes you go by road somewhere, and instead of restrictions, instead of some sign, not more than 40 kilometers, instead of that you have a photo of happy family and sign that. And writings like, your children wait you at home, be careful, something like this.
That's nice.
When we say poster, Ivan, we're talking about something the size of the map behind you.
Okay.
A poster is like, 3 feet by 5 feet. The big billboard that's huge on the highway, we don't call that a poster, but...
Okay, got it.
Okay.
And I saw a few posters in Barcelona, Gerard, yeah? Mostly politician, but about politics, but I was surprised. There are many. So it's in addition to internet, people share their thoughts by posters.
We use bumper stickers in America. Everybody has a bumper sticker.
I saw a few about fuel economy or something like this.
Could be any topic, yeah. Any topic. Some are funny.
Okay.
Some are haters, yeah.
So posters is something not so big, right? It can be from movie or some short message, something like this.
Movie posters are common, yeah.
We had them for a short time, maybe in 85 or something like that. When I was young, we have some posters from movie, but they extinct. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know either. But in America, posters are usually advertising or promotion, politics or movies or something like that.
And now they use LCD TVs instead of posters, to advertise.
Yeah, so maybe that's why posters are kind of less popular today.
Another question. Have you noticed it talking about censura in this TED talk?
Censura.
Censure. Sorry. Censura.
That's Spanish.
I didn't see that mentioned. Did she mention?
Yes. I just recall our chat that we discussed some censure on TV, and I noticed that she said we tried to make a fun posters about Muslim, but it was banned. It was not allowed to.
Okay.
Yeah, the Muslims are coming. Look at just what you say, the title. The Muslims are coming. Of course, it was banned because people could be prejudiced against the title.
But why you say of course? In my place you can write anything on the wall.
Okay, I don't want to say a lot.
We had a comedy movie. The title was "The Russians Are Coming." The Russians are coming. It was supposed to be alarm, like an invasion. But
yes. Red Dawn. Do you remember this movie, Red Dawn?
Oh yeah. We did because we're trying to reset our relationship with Russia. The remake of Red Dawn, the Koreans were the bad guys.
Okay.
Everybody hates the Koreans.
Sometimes our posters use special technique. It's just an advertisement. They trying to sell something, but they try to mask that. They started from big title like attention. It's very important. Something happened. You have to read that, and after that, you read we sell Nissans. Buy there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always funny, yeah. And something like at March 25 it will be special meetings, and you're starting to read what kind of meetings it is, and it's just sales, or something in the shop.
Yeah.
Attention getting techniques, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but Leila, why you say it? Of course, about you cannot write something about Muslim. Is it the same in your place? Do you have this censure?
As Teacher Lee mentioned before, nowadays Muslims are on the agenda. People think that they are bad, they are terrorists, they are this and this. So this poster is not suitable. Instead of Muslims are coming, she could choose another thing to write.
The Muslims are coming is kind of a hater phrasing.
Yeah. It's not
Watch
welcoming.
out. Everyone be afraid. The Muslims are
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not socially sensitive.
Yeah. Thank you, Lee.
I see.
I see. I live when you're going to schooling with.
Okay, and we have another question. Do you have haters in your country? In which field? Who do they hate? And I think we answered a little bit about America, right? About Trump things.
I must stop talking.
Okay. So, Vasant, what about haters in India? Do you have them? Who they hate?
We have a lot of haters. Yeah, some people hate America, but in general, a certain group of people always hate the ruling party. I don't know why, whatever it is, but they always hate the ruling party, whatever the schemes they introduce, whatever decision they make, they always criticize the ruling party. But right now, it is true, actually. The reason, how do we call it? Everybody has the reason to hate the ruling party. Even I hate that because it is really hard. Their governing is really they made some stupid decision like demonetization, a lot of things, and the conflict with the neighborhood nations. And our prime minister is always flying to the foreign countries, not staying inside. So we have a lot of difficulties. So yes, we hate, but some people always hate the ruling party. Even if the government changes, they hate that. Yeah,
I think it's the must in many places. Must in many places. I can answer this question. You can name any things, you know, pancakes. I will find you a lot of people who hate this in my country.
Another common rivalry is dog lovers and cat lovers.
Yeah.
If you don't love dogs, you're a bad person.
Yeah. How dare you?
I hate cats, you know.
And if you love both, what are you?
Unusual.
A weirdo.
A swing animal lover.
Right. We don't forget we are making science here. You know, we have classification. Yeah. So swing haters, right? Swing lovers. It's nice. Okay. So thank you very much for this class. You know, I think we know more about hate, but I suspect we knew a lot about hate before. It's hard to avoid, but I'm very happy that we don't have too much hate in our group, in our chat,
No.
in our hangout. So thank you again. See you and bye.
Bye.
Bye.